At the time was 21 and had nothing to do with me. When he knew I wasn't going to give them up for adoption or abortion, he walked away. My mom was disappointed, but she helped me throughout my entire pregnancy and my delivery. A few weeks before my due date, my boyfriend texted me saying he broke up with this girl and that he wanted to get together and he was going to try to become the best dad he can. After the twins were born, it was blissful for a few moments until my mother started becoming toxic. She would take them places without my knowledge, and I would wake up to an empty house not knowing where my kids were. She started overriding my decisions, and when I confronted her, she told me she knew better because she was an adult, and I was in no position to contradict her. After years of this happening, I finally had enough, and I managed to get enough money to afford a hotel for a couple of nights while I decided what to do. I asked my aunt to watch my kids for a few days so I can go out and find a job, and when I returned to the motel, they were gone. All of them. When I returned back to the hotel, my twins and my aunt are missing. No phone call, no message, no nothing. Coincidentally, my mom calls and says that my best friend told her that my twins were missing, even though I told no one. She was yelling at me on the phone saying she was so worried and it was obviously my fault because I was so young, and at that point I was really suspicious because I could hear my aunt in the background talking to my mom. So at that point I knew she took them to my mom's house. As soon as I hung up on the phone, I went to the police station to file a report. For a few days, the police went undercover to try to get evidence, and there was many pictures showing my mom taking my twins to their house. When we took her to court, she said that they ran away due to my abuse and she found them in the middle of the street, which was obviously a complete lie. My mom had paid my boyfriend to give her false information that I was hurting my kids. After a long and gruesome battle, I won the case and my mom can't see them until they're 18. Even though my boyfriend at the time had a major part in it, he only has visitation limitations, which is once every 6 weeks. This happened 3 years ago when I was 18. I'm now married to the love of my life and the best father in the world.
Storytime to when I was dating a pedophile. And no, I didn't know until 6 months into the relationship. So I met this guy on Tinder, and he was 10 years older than me, but honestly, I didn't mind that. He was kind of cute, and he was a total gentleman. But 5 months into the relationship, he started acting really weird. But before we get into anything, I used to sleep at his house every single day. And this dude did not have one friend. Total red flag. So sometimes I would just chill at his house while he went to work. And he always told me not to go outside without him. Like the dumb bitch I am, I just thought he was trying to protect me. So he lived by a gas station and a breakfast place, and when we went into either of those places, people would stare at us. Come back for part 2. Part 2 on how I was dating a pedophile. Now, I forgot to say this in the beginning, but I was 24 at the time. So like I said, anytime we went in the gas station or in the breakfast place, people would stare us down. And I honestly thought it was because of the age difference, because it was obvious. But no. About 4 months into the relationship, he started telling me he had to go to court every single week. He told me it was nothing important, but I was already starting to get suspicious because this guy's family didn't even talk to him. So one day while he was at work, I went through his stuff and I found all the paperwork about what he did. Now, I was shitting my pants because I didn't have a car, so I waited for him to get home. And I asked him about it, and he said it was a misunderstanding, that the person was lying, and that he only did some time. Come back for part 3. Part 3 on how I was dating a pedophile. So he told me he did some time, got out for good behavior, and that he's trying to start a new life, and forget about all of that. And I believed him, but then that same night, he wanted to, and I told him I was not in the mood. And he got really mad, tried to force me, but then he said he was sorry. And guys, I called a cab and told him if he ever tried to contact me again, I would call the cops and let them know that he never told me he was a pedophile. But I still ended up telling the cops, and I never saw him again.